I love your questions. Carol's busting up because she sees a 10-minute oration coming. All right. Your first line of defense is the edge of your shoe on a traverse. Once again, traverses are your most dangerous. You can have a little frickin' traverse that's a little hump in the snow as you're going around a tree, and you can fall right into that tree well and be buried in 8 feet of snow. I see it with skiers and ski patrol all the time. It doesn't take much to lose your balance and to slip and fall. It depends what you hit. You don't always have these really cool runouts, meaning downhill slope below you after you fall, where you have la-di-da, lots of time to self-arrest, like in my videos and junk like that. That's just for teaching. Most of the time, you've got to be reflexive. As soon as you know you're hitting the deck, you've got to assume the position, roll to the pick, and self-arrest. The key is the thing has to be in your hand. I don't mean to sound frivolous about this, but most through hikers couldn't identify risk ahead of them if it hit them straight in the face, and it will. And then they'll learn, because most of them haven't never done a through hike before. They've never taken their bodies into such a foreign climate and tested it. So this is the first time for a lot of them. And they think, well, what the hell? I got a boot track. I'm just going to walk on the boot track and I'm going to go wherever it goes. And that's just really simplistic, because there's a lot of issues. So this is just one of them. So when you're on the traverse, you have to have a bite. You have to have an edge in. If you can't do that, you got to have a sort of a little platform to stand on. So you kick and scratch until you make a platform, and then you put your foot on it and you test it. You don't assume that it's going to hold your weight until you test it by putting your weight on it, and then go, okay, yeah, I like that. Now 100% of my weight. Okay, now I got to work on the next place. That's why it takes so damn long to sometimes move over certain surfaces. It's all about the interface between foot and surface. Now, that's your foot, but you're 6 feet tall or 5 feet tall or whatever. So now you got to think, oh shit, I got to control where my head goes, because my body is going to follow my head. How do I control my head on this slope? With your poles. So you have a triangular pattern with your 2 poles out at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. This is idealistic flat ground training. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and you're standing in the center of the clock. Okay, so there's your triangle. But now when you take that slope and you tilt it up on edge, you suddenly realize, holy shit, man, my head wants to go downhill. How do I counter that? My downhill pole has to be at my hip at 3 o'clock. I'm heading up the hill. The hill is on my left side. You got to kind of imagine this where you are. So 9 o'clock is uphill, 3 o'clock's downhill. Downhill pole is always your whippet, just the way it is. Ice axe, if you got it, it's always in your uphill hand. Whippet's in the downhill hand. So it's nice, flat handle. Also is killer to sit on when you get tired. It's right next to your hip. Take a break. You got to do this. It's what do we call this in climbing? There's a term, a mountaineer's step or something rather, where you take a step and then you load it and you stand on your straight leg for a brief second, enough to catch your breath, and then you take your next step and you load it and you stand, pause, take it. So anyway, so you can literally every once in a while just sit on your whippet and take a breather, and it's right there by your hip. Just hook your femoral head right on it. And so that worked great. But anyway, so then your other pole, which is either shortened, because your uphill pole is your what we call a traverse pole. If you go to Black Diamond's website, you'll see that they actually make a traverse pole. They know what they're doing, and they've been doing it a long time. But it's a pole that has another handle, a knurled rubber surface, really low on the pole, because your hand is going to be way up there. But you don't want to hang on to the handle, you'll be out of balance. So you want to hang on to the shaft. Lo and behold, they have a place to hang on to. So you got a traverse pole and you got your whippet. That's the system you're dealing with to maintain where your head goes on the slope, because you'll post hole, maybe you'll have a little slip. Your poles are going to keep you from falling. Your traction is going to keep you from losing your footing. The combination is going to make you a happy camper.